Good day, everybody. This is Robin Johnston. I was your independent presidential candidate, but I am now going to go for 2030. As you can see, what happened nomination day, where all the presidential candidates came to pick up their nominations and whatever they had to do, including the president. Everybody was applauding, giving, an applause for democracy. But there was only one person, in fact, two people, the vice president and the president himself, did not even give an applaud to any of the other candidates. What does that tell you? That is the arrogance of power. This is why I told you, brace yourselves because there's a circus. We've got a circus master, Revuwam Kalawan, who now has to go to the Pope, an Anglican priest who goes to the Pope. He doesn't know whether he's coming or whether he's going. And if he thinks he's going as a country leader, he has totally failed because he doesn't believe in the democracy and the process that the Constitution affords every single Seshua in this country. Then there's a little clip of his goons, his so-called bodyguards, doing I don't know what. But those bodyguards, are you trained to see a threat? Because the only thing you did was make a nuisance of yourself. Because if you're supposed to be independent of all those things, then you should be able to see that these are future, the possibility of them being future presidents as well in there. So you don't go around pushing everybody around. This is what African politics looks like. When I say there's going to be a circus in this election, there's going to be a circus, I promise you, if we do have elections. If we do have elections. Look at the traffic jam today now because of Montferry. How many MNAs are going to go for their nominations today? How many cars will be used by them? As opposed to how many cars are stuck in traffic jams? Because you have no idea what it caused. You don't know the disruption. Why do you need to do that? We're a small country. Nobody's going to do anything. You let people live and let live. Let's sort of louvoise, man. These people that you're holding up and jamming all the traffics and all, these are all taxpayers. And you push them around to the convenience of yourselves when you get voted in by these. You insult the Seychelles people. Zot Petra vai aussi, man. If the Electoral Commission is in a bad spot where it makes disruption, put it down right down south at the end of the island, or right down south at one end of the island, or make it the other end of the island. Sorry, that's some cats coming in. Or make it at the other end of the island, so it's away from town, so there's no disruption. If it's so important, use your heads, people. Servez l'esprit, zot. Servez l'esprit, s'il vous plaît. Et pas trop difficile pour servir l'esprit. Common sense. I don't know. Anyway, I'll be watching very closely at this election, and no stone is going to be unturned. And then I will tell you who I will probably endorse out of all of those people, presidential and independent, in the National Assembly. But I'm saying, when you vote in the National Assembly, make sure you have as many independent candidates as possible. So you do not give the 2/3 majority, you do not give a majority to the ruling party, whichever it may be. If it's an independent president, then no problem. But if it's LDS or US, make sure the opposite is in the National Assembly. This will force whoever's president to come to the National Assembly and work closer with the National Assembly. When Wavell said Ipamase, it's not good for him because he's a dictator. He's a globalist. He belongs to the World Economic Forum. He's the problem that we have around the world. He's part of the problem. A lot of people don't see it, but it'll come. It'll come. Eventually you'll see that the globalists are the worst enemies for the future of this globe, for this planet. They're the ones that are dictating the death and how many people must die and how many people must live. But people don't see that. They just see it as countries, this and that. That's all they see. Then they see racism and then they see religion and all that. But that's what they try to do. They mash everything together. But it's only taking you to an agenda where it's one world order, where sovereignty doesn't matter in a country anymore, where culture doesn't matter anymore in a country. That's why they have mass migration. Ça même, zot pa waji tout. Ça vaccin mo pour cause là tous les jours. Ça vaccin it didn't save nobody, it didn't save anybody. It killed. It did more damage. It killed a lot of people, and the worst of it is cancer is high now. Not just in Seychelles, everywhere, Japan, everywhere. Because there's so much fragmented DNA in the vaccines, way over the limit or over the legal limit of 5 broken fragments to 10 billion or 10 million fragments in one shot. It makes cancer. But people think that, oh, I am talking a lot of rubbish. But I do the research, you don't. You listen to CNN and BBC, all these are communist networks now. These are the one world order networks. So they don't want to give you the truth. So when you go to your elections, when you go and vote, you either vote for the new world order, or you vote for the sovereignty, or you vote for the independence of our country. So we stay independent. But that fiasco that you saw there yesterday with the president, or the day before yesterday with the president, and him not applauding democracy, means he's against it. And he's willing to cancel elections until he's satisfied. Telling you, you don't know. There's a lot of countries around the world that's been the elections have been cancelled, including Ukraine, including the oppositions in Ukraine. In Mednaka Sozot. There's no democracy in Ukraine. There's only a puppet of the World Economic Forum and the globalists, and that's Zelensky. He's the puppet of that lot. And you guys have got fooled by it. So, s'il vous plaît. Look at the Ministry of Health, how it's destroying the health of our people. Look at the global warming, Minister of Global Warming, or whatever he is. Yeah. And how he goes around killing and poisoning animals. And they've got these new schemes now to sterilize the animals. But then when they sterilize, what they're going to do? They're just going to give them poison again. So, like I say, I haven't given up. I'm watching very closely. And I'm going to regroup. I'm going to get all my good supporters and the people that are serious, especially SMP people. And if there's a few US, and then whoever. There's 1 or 2 people in other the independents. There's good people there, but they need to realize what they're doing, and they need to realize what they're getting into, because they have no idea that what they're doing is actually aiding the globalists, and they'll have to make deals. And then, like one of the M&A says, "Don't you believe in the international community?" No. Just because I don't believe in the international community is the way they want us to believe in it, as a one world order. That's not that's not being that's not having independent thought, because one country like Seychelles, you cannot compare it to like a country like Alaska, a state like the state of Alaska. You can't compare Seychelles to America. You know, we're different. We're in the tropics. These are big countries. We're all different. We all have our different cultures. We all have our different cultures. That's what makes us. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us individual. That's what the human race is about. Survival. If we're all doing the same thing, how do you survive? If you all fall in the same trap, and then that's the end of the human race. Maybe the Earth needs no humans anymore. I don't know. But what is it that you think that you're going to benefit from the globalists and from idiots like we have as a president? How do you think we're going to benefit from that? No, Papu benefit lah. He's benefit. He's running off to the Pope. Pourquoi? But that's taxpayers' money. The drug issues that I keep talking about in this country is bad. You know, I'll be on podcasts more often now. I think I had a bit of dengue and a bit of this, but now I'm getting better and I'm feeling better. So I'm going to keep going at it, and I'm going to point out all the mistakes that these people are making, and that's why I don't even if I had got 500 signatures. In fact, it's a blessing in disguise. Now I can sit back and watch what's going on, because you guys don't know what's going on. So I have to explain to you what's going to go on. And the disaster has already started. Look at Wavels, the way he applauded nothing. Look at the way his bodyguards behave. Terrible. That's a disrespect to democracy. Have a good day. And I'll be posting more. Thank you for listening. Merci beaucoup.